So both of the professionals that I interviewed for my project were both in a high school setting. One is a para-professional inside a self-contained special education classroom. The other is a principal of a high school who has been in the field of education for 25 years. Okay, so let me talk about the similarities between the two interviews. They both had a very strong belief in inclusive education. They both had experience with the special education setting. The para actually had 2 special needs children herself, and so was very familiar with the process and the procedures wrapped up into our special education system. The principal had 25 years of experience and had several special education students and programs implemented in his school. Comparing the 2 schools, they're both high schools in urban settings, both within the same county. The Paraprofessionals High School had 1 self-contained classroom with about 100 special education students throughout in the general classroom setting. There's 1 special education teacher and 1 para to assist in the self-contained classroom. The principal's school now has 2 self-contained classrooms, had over 180 special education students within the entire general population, but had 6 special education teachers, 2, 1 for each self-contained classroom, and then 4 that practiced a skill of going out and actually helping those students be in an inclusive environment and modeled a technique of co-teaching throughout some of the general education classrooms. The differences were what I found to be the most shocking. I assumed, since they were 2 high schools in the same county, that the special education systems would be working the same way and they would have the same amount of inclusion and aid there for those students, and that wasn't the case at all. My paraprofessional school was lacking a lot of assistance, and the actual special education teacher is so overwhelmed with the paperwork that even managing her self-contained classroom is very overwhelming at times. Whereas my principal's school, he recognized the need for inclusion and not only had a special education teacher for each self-contained classroom, but then had 4 special education teachers that went out and for 4 periods a day, went into the general education classrooms and co-taught with the general education teacher. Now, the models of co-teaching were nowhere near on the level of models of co-teaching that we have learned in our class. They practiced more of a main teacher teaching and instructing the class, while the special education teacher works specifically with those special needs students to develop the skills that they need at the time. So I think that as it moves forward, that maybe they could develop their co-teaching techniques more to benefit not only the special needs child, but also the needs of the entire class.